Our story begins in 2023. In Hangzhou, China, a team of hedge fund analysts made a bet over lunch. They spent years building algorithms to predict stock markets. But today, they're arguing about something different. Could they make an AI chatbot that could potentially rival ChatGPT? Not for profit, not for glory, but for fun? Fast forward 18 months, that chatbot, DeepSeek, now outperforms ChatGPT's premium models in both programming and math, and is completely free, and is rewriting the rulebook for what innovation looks like in this age of AI. Now, ChatGPT has actually shown us that world-changing innovations, they don't need billion-dollar budgets. They don't need IP pedigrees. They don't need strict corporate roadmaps. DeepSeek certainly laughs in the face of this logic. Let's start with the obvious difference. Money. When OpenAI first launched their model, they burned through $100 million trading it. DeepSeek, they only burned through $5.6 million. Their twist was that the lack of funding was not a weakness, it was their superpower. With no room for waste, they repurposed their financial modeling tools from their hedge fund work to create hybrid AI architectures that cut their operational costs by 63%. They treated each dollar like their last, because it very nearly was. And this reveals today's first lesson. Constraints don't limit genius, they focus it. When you can't buy your way out of problems, you should think your way out of them instead. And now, let's talk about that side project. DeepSeek wasn't born in a boardroom. It wasn't part of a 5-year plan. It began as a playground, a place where engineers experimented while after finishing their real work. There were no deadlines, there were no investors breathing down the necks. It was just curiosity. And history is full of these accidental innovations. I mean, Google's founders initially tried and failed to sell their search algorithms. Twitter emerged from failing podcasting companies Chatable. And the Wright brothers tested plane designs while running their bicycle shop. And there's science behind this too. I mean, a Harvard study found that employees given 20% more free time to tinker generate 60% more passable ideas than those with laser-focused KPIs. Because when we decouple innovation from obligation, magic happens. DeepSeek's team embodied this. They treated AI like a puzzle, not a product. No one expected them to change the world, so they both did a try. And that's what fascinates me most. They weren't AI experts as well. They were finance people. They were quants. They were outsiders to Silicon Valley's inside circle. And somehow, they turned this into a secret weapon. Because when you're an insider, it was a burden that comes with this position. You need to know industry jargon, the best practices, and constantly hold out when fear of looking foolish. But outsiders, they ask questions like, why do we need 1.7 trillion parameters? What if we borrow techniques from quantitative finance? And can we make this work on a $50 smartphone? And DeepSeek's team had no reverence for how AI should be built. They saw ChatGPT's subscription model and thought, what if we gave this away for free instead? They looked at Silicon Valley's obsession with scale and thought, why don't we make this nimble instead? And true innovation isn't about publishing existing ideas. It's about questioning the premises these ideas are on. Now, here's where the plot begins. While Western AI labs guard their code like nuclear secrets, DeepSeek did the unthinkable. They open sourced parts of their code. By letting developers worldwide tinker with their code, they crowdsourced improvements they couldn't afford to make. They built a community full of advocates, and they turned all users into co-creators. It's the exact opposite of Silicon Valley's fortress mentality, and it worked. I mean, developers from Nairobi to Sao Paulo started building on DeepSeek's framework. They created plugins and tools the team never imagined. And this isn't just altruism, it's genius. Because they knew that when you let the world and let go of control, you tap into the world's collective brain power. To truly understand DeepSeek, you also need to understand their cultural DNA. Specifically, China's Shanzai philosophy. Shanzai actually means mountain fortress. It's a metaphor for reinnovation. It's the art of remixing, repurposing, and rebuilding with whatever you have. And you see it in everything, from so-called Chinese copycat phones to viral app phones which out-innovate their visions. This isn't cheap imitation, is innovation. They use publicly available code, and they prioritize speed or polish. And they knew that if you couldn't be the first, you should be the fastest. If you couldn't be the best or the biggest, you should be the cleverest. So where does this leave us? For years, we treated innovation like a fun book. Money plus experts plus time equals breakthroughs. But because of this, we've often given up on the pursuit of these impractical, impossible, or unimaginable ideas. Because we didn't have these prerequisites. We've chosen to continue with our everyday lives, laughing off these stupid thoughts in the shower. By putting innovation on a pedestal, we've lost the heart of it. But DeepSeek redefines this. It proves to us that these aren't the real ingredients. Because you know what the real ingredients are? Curiosity over cash, community over control, and constraints over convenience. But this isn't just about AI. It's about how we approach all program solving. Maybe you're a teacher building a passion project out over the weekends. Maybe you're a nurse prototyping a medical tool between shifts. Maybe you're a student programming something useless that makes you laugh. So don't dismiss these side quests. Don't wait for permission or funding. The next breakthrough won't come from a lab with unlimited resources. It'll come from someone tinkering late at night, fueled by nothing but caffeine and curiosity. And so tonight, when you're at home, ask yourself, what's my version of this? That project that you've been calling a distraction, that's not a distraction. That's the future, being built one side project at a time. Thank you.